Hello YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you find you all fitting well. Today we're going to have a little chat about 4K. This was prompted mainly by a few comments I had recently on the channel asking me what my opinions were of 4K. So I thought, okay, we'll do a short video. Now, understand that this is not by no means a review of 4K or 4K movies or steelbooks or anything regarding 4K. It's not. It's just my opinions and observations of 4K over the past year. I mean, I've had a television now for almost exactly a year, which given me a chance to assess it, and I just thought I would give you a layman's view of how I perceive 4K, because I'm not a technical person. I don't get into the technicalities of it, which a lot of reviewers do. I mean, these people are geeks, and I don't use that in any disparaging fashion. There's no bigger geek than me knocking about, but when I say geek, I mean these people talk about technicalities of 4K, which I don't understand, which I don't need to understand, because I don't look that deeply into it. But yeah, as I say, these are just my impressions. Talking about review and reviewers, I have to say from the outset that there's a lot of misinformation and downright untruths about 4K on the net. So I would, if you're thinking about buying 4K and you're looking up on YouTube, I would try and ignore a lot of the tripe that's talked about 4K. And as I say, reviewers tend to look at it in a different way to the way I would. So I would steer clear of some of those also. Now, when you're assessing a new video technology, it's not as simple as just saying this is good or this is not so good. There are a lot of component parts that make up the experience. For instance, the size of your TV is a big factor. Now, I don't have a very big TV. Mine's only big TV. Mine's only 40 odd, upper 40s, I think, 46 or something. And I think you would get the best optimum experience. You would need at least a 60-inch TV, but my living room won't cater for it. So 46 is what I've got, and I mean it's enough to get some benefit, but obviously the bigger your TV, the more benefit you'll get. Also, I haven't got a sound bar, so anybody that's got a nice quality sound bar or some means of getting better quality sound will get more benefit than I. That's another component you have to consider, and also the quality of your 4K player. I mean, I've just got a basic LG one, which is the same brand as my TV for compatibility purposes, but it's just a standard one. It's not a high-end one by any means. So there again, if you decide to go for a high-end one, you'll get a better experience than I have at the moment. So they're the three main things you've got to look at. Also, there's something that you can't do anything about, and that's the quality of the transfer of the movie. Now, I've been disappointed with more than one 4K movie. For instance, week ago or so, I watched watched Watchmen, and I was very disappointed with that. It didn't, to me, look any different to my ordinary Blu-ray version, which leads me into the other thing that you must take into consideration if you're thinking of buying all the stuff you need to run 4K, and that is upscaling. Now, I don't want to be patronising to anybody, but there might be some of you out there who are not familiar with upscaling, so I'll briefly explain. Back in the days of the Blu-ray, when that came out, when the Blu-ray players came out and the PS4, obviously Xbox One plays them, if you put your old DVDs into the Blu-ray player, you would get a better quality DVD. But the quality between the upscaled DVD, I was going to say simply because the Blu-ray player upscales the DVD. Now the difference in quality between the upscaled DVD and actual Blu-ray was still quite a gulf there, quite a gap. Not so much with 4K. Now, if you put one of your Blu-rays into a 4K player, it gets upscaled in the same way, but the difference is not so great. So, if you bought yourself, say, a cheap player like I've got, and you decided that you didn't want to go to all the expense of buying a 4K TV if you haven't got one, and a soundbar, whatever, maybe that would be good enough for you. I don't know. As I say, another purpose of this video is not to persuade or dissuade anybody from buying 4K, but I'm just putting that out there, because the question to be asked is, if you bought a 4K player with all the paraphernalia you need to run it, would you necessarily need to upgrade, or would I necessarily need to upgrade all of my Blu-rays? And the answer to that is a big resounding no, because the difference in quality between a lot of upscale Blu-rays and 4K is not that great, I find. So from my point of view, I would be looking at the films that I've enjoyed in the past and hoping, by buying the 4K version, hoping that there was a definite improvement in the visual quality. And so, I would to anybody that asked me that question, would you upgrade? I would say no. It would cost me a fortune to start with, and secondly, I wouldn't consider it necessary, because a lot of the films I've got on Blu-ray are just, bog standard films that you stick in every now and again and you watch. But it's different when you consider the films that you really like, like big action movies, like, the Marvel movies, stuff like that. Then, I'm willing to take the chance. Not least because I'm a steelbook collector, and these have all been re-released in steelbook. It's slightly different from me, but I would say the answer to that question is whether to upgrade all your stuff is not necessarily. So anyway, that's what I think, and we'll just leave that one there. But we were talking about Watchmen, which I was disappointed with. Now, I saw a review. I think we're reviewing just all the best 4K films, and Lucy was mentioned. So I thought, okay, this is not my actual copy. I borrowed this off my daughter, and I thought, I'll have a look at it. And I put it on, and I thought, well, I don't really know what all the fuss was about on the review, because it didn't look that brilliant to me. But you know, that, as I say, that is just a personal point of view. I mean, technically, it might be far superior to the Blu-ray. I don't know, but the way it looked to me was if, you know, there wasn't that much difference. But that's just me. Another couple of films that I bought cheaply because I thought they might look good in 4K with the Fast and Furious 6 and 7. A little bit disappointed again. I thought there would be a bigger, a greater difference between them and the Blu-ray, but I didn't find the difference that great. You know, whereas I would rush out and pay, say, 15, 20 quid. I mean, I got them for a tenner each. But, you know, I wouldn't want to rush out and pay 15, 20 quid for them, let's put it that way. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I think about 4K. But as I say, that's from someone who's not watching or listening to 4K movies at their optimum. So, I mean, whether that's of any use to anybody out there, I don't know. As I say, I'm not trying to persuade or dissuade you. Just putting my opinion out there. But before we go, I just thought, for the benefit of anybody that's already got 4K or is even thinking of getting it, I thought I would just run through 10 or so films that I found to be very beneficial with regard to the 4K format. First one is Passengers. Now I know this is not a universally popular film, but I have to say it looks absolutely stunning in 4K, even on my setup. So, you know, if you're looking for something to showcase your new or your old 4K setup, then I would say that's a good place to start. Equally so, Aquaman. I mean, that looks lovely in 4K, I've got to say. I had seen it on Blu-ray and I thought it was pretty good there, but yeah, I was impressed with that. Now, it's said, and I tend to agree, that a lot of the older films benefit from 4K remastering. And the original Alien film is certainly one of those. I was very impressed with that. It almost looked like a different. It almost looked like a different film, with the superb quality of the 4K resolution. So I would recommend that to anybody. Here's a film that I enjoyed at the cinema, seen a couple of times in Blu-ray, and put the 4K on, and yeah, I was quite impressed with that as well. It's, you know, it's the kind of film that lends itself well to 4K in my opinion, because it's very colourful. There's lots of action, you know, plenty going on, and it's very colourful and nice, you know. Moving on to the Marvel universe, I was quite impressed with that. Iron Man. There again, it's one of the earlier films in the MCU, and not so much at the start of the film, but as the film goes on and he tries the suits on, you know, they look absolutely stunning in 4K, I thought. And Thor, you know, all the scenes on Asgard, absolutely lovely. Not so great when you get back down to boring old Earth, but certainly all the Asgardian scenes, all the gold and all of that stuff, looked absolutely wonderful. And then the other Marvel film that impressed me, I haven't got all of them by the way, so I can't judge. But the Infinity War, that's one of my favourite films anyway. And to see it in 4K, you know, I thought, yeah, that's really good, really nice. So I was well impressed with that one. Another older film that I thought looked really nice was Gladiator. There again, it's quite a colourful film with plenty of action, so it's a good way to judge what you think of 4K. Now, these couple, again, not well, I say not universally loved, not many people like them at all. That's the first of the Joel Schumacher Batman films, Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, I mean, I found these. I don't mind. I don't mind them on Blu-ray. I don't mind the films at all. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised by the 4K transfer. I thought they looked really spiffing. And I know everybody hates this film apart from me, but that was their second Joel Schumacher offering, or his directorial offering, shall we say. And there again, you know, I thought it was great. I mean, Arnie does a good job of hammering his way through the film, but he looks great in the Dr. Freeze get-up. Yeah, I was really impressed with that one. And last but very not least, my favourite film of all time, even though it is very recent, The Joker. I mean, that just looks magnificent in 4K. I mean, I haven't seen it at the IMAX, I thought it looked pretty good, but having seen the joys of the 4K version, you know, I'm kind of, those kind of films convinced me that I did the right thing upgrading. But yeah, I mean, as I say, that's my thoughts. That's what I feel. That's what I think. Just a little. I mean, it's a similar. I did a video a while back with a similar theme on the PlayStation VR system. You know, that seemed quite popular. I had quite a few views for that one, so you know, I thought we'd give it a go here. So you know, whether or not you agree with me, whether or not you enjoyed my appraisal, there it is. It's out there, and everybody stay well, and I will see you very soon.